Good morning. Welcome to day 7, I think. Yes. And we are in San Jose. Today is our first full day. Currently I'm wearing all black because it's November 6th and woke up to some terrible news. So to make sure that we educate ourselves and become better people, we're going to go through some museums today to learn so we don't repeat history on the bad. So walk with us to San Jose's museum district. But first, breakfast. All right, and our first stop is here,
which is the Pre-Columbian Gold Museum. However, as you can see, it does say the Central Bank of Costa Rica Museum, and that's because they're the ones who actually own the museum.
So let's go in and check it out, learn some stuff. Museum of Gold. So this is the only
underground building in Costa Rica.
So there is no flash photography.
We have a place to ourselves.
There is it seems like a school field trip that is walking in as we are too, so we decided to go immediately to the cool stuff. Yes, Jen loves capybaras. But what about this one?
It's a medieval style.
So pretty much this is how some of the processes led to creation of artifacts in stone, clay, and metals, which is used in daily ritual activities. So this is pretty much like the history and the start of how they decided to start trade and everything. This is really cool. I like this little guy.
Oh, and the hours are 9:15 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. They do close admission 30 minutes before they close. So 4 p.m. is the last entry.
Here we go. More little cool guys. So gold objects started becoming around the Northwest Colombia, arrived around between 0 and 500 AD. So a lot of these artifacts were actually the technique is very similar to Panama and Colombia. Well, here we go, we're getting into some bigger stuff. Wow, that is the largest gold nugget found in Costa Rica in the Serpi River Delta, and it's roughly about 5 pounds. So this part of the museum is fairly new. Oh, see, so this we can touch. And this building is actually an inverted triangle. It's kind of cool.
I really like that font.
Yeah. So some of this was actually used for political leaders, mediators, and rituals and celebrations. Beautiful carvings or sculptures. The way they made these is incredible.
Details.
Yeah, you can see a little turtle. Yeah, like
That is very small.
But detailed. It's incredible that traveling to different countries, ancient times, they all had similar. Like when we went to Egypt, this would be like similar. The intricacy is no joke. A glimpse of where certain artifacts were found, and we were at that one. That's where the blue waterfall is in Rio Celeste. This reminds me of Silo. If you haven't seen that show, it's awesome. A little bit of an art gallery. Alright, so it looks like there's another section, but it's closed off. So that was the Gold Museum. It took about 15 minutes, not even. Okay, so two things to note. If you are going to that museum, definitely get there at like 9:15 when they open, because by the time we left, we had seen 5 school tour guides. So that place is going to get busy really quick. Also, there may not have been certain things open. So at the current time that we went, $17 per person was not worth it. It was about $1 a minute. So right now we're in the theater. National Theater Museum, and we'll just try to make it quick. So here's a quick montage. Note to self, you got to buy tickets in advance. We did not, because we didn't plan anything for this trip. So we'll be back in an hour at 11:15.
Please, I'll be back today. You can take pictures if you want. No flash, please. That's it. An orchestra view. As you can tell, usually.
So really quick, apparently this floor raises to the level of the stage. Takes about 30 minutes, and there's 12 people that move the gears manually. The painting is actually canvas, and it's 4 parts brought in from Italy. The chandelier can actually be brought down to change the light bulbs, and the floor only gets moved every 4 years during the election. Their election. Obviously not ours, theirs.
Landscape from Belgium, you're made of rose.
So the gold that you see is actually being currently replaced to bring it back to life. Restoring in progress. So that is called the Triumph of Music. It used to be at the very top of the building. However, the pigeons were getting to it, so they decided to bring it inside to keep it safe, and they made a replica to put outside. Painted in 1910. There's a car. So really quick, this painting was painted by a European who had never been to Costa Rica. That's why the cocoa beans are next to the beach when cocoa beans are grown in mountains. So this is the presidential box. It's in the middle, 2nd floor. And this is what it looks like.
These are the wings of the cherries. The wings, it's like a bird. It's like a bird wings. This sculpture is made for Bonilla, Costa Rican artist. The point is he went to Italy to study, and then he came back to Costa Rica as an art teacher in the first art academy in Costa Rica. And well, he made this piece and it's named Heroes of Misery. So it's not talking about wellness and opulence as the theater is, but it's showing the lower class, the poverty, the misery.
One more part that they're redoing. It's a lot of gold leaf that they're working on. That was a quick tour of the National Theater Museum, and on to the next thing. Our next stop is the local market. Very narrow walkways. And they're doing a news report. Little restaurants to sit and eat. That you don't necessarily want to see. Alright, so that was a quick brief look at the market. Of a church ceremony. All right, we took a quick little siesta, and now we're on to the National Museum. Looks pretty nice. We were going to go to the Jade Museum, but that's also $17 a person, and the last $17 I don't think was well spent. So these are the gardens. We got greeted by a huge butterfly that was trying to escape. We had to keep him in. Yeah, I'm like, I don't know where he went. Another one. Pretty nice. All right, so we finished this. Now we're right here. They have examples of their jail cells. So maybe this building was actually like for protection, war. Looked out to the street. Yeah, barracks turrets were built to allow someone with a rifle, more room inside, better protects against a shot from the outside. It's interesting that they just converted this to their museum. I guess this is what it looked like in 1948. Some good information if you want to pause the video and read it. And now we're outside again. Here is a little city view. Rebuilt these really well. So some of their jewelry came from the bones and the teeth of coyotes, possums, white-tailed deer, and raccoons and other. So if this was 10 p.m., this is where we would go into Ancient Aliens, and these are all aliens. That's really nice. Just to give you an idea, we are literally the only ones here. So, you know, I could use that as a coffee table, or even this as a table. Some accurate sculptures. Oh no, that's cool. Oh no, he's incomplete. Okay, so maybe you don't have to go to the Gold Museum. You just, or the Jade Museum, you just come here and you see everything too. And apparently the first church in Costa Rica was in 1561. The eyes are just a little too real. Now tell me if you see some resemblance to our court system. And now we're getting into the 1800s. Alright, so slavery in Costa Rica, they also did not pass that. Apparently theirs was in the 17th, late 18th century. So there were slaves here in Costa Rica. So out of all the artifacts, this is the coolest. Check that out. And of course it's a religious artifact. Alright, so if you want to pause this really quick, the short is because the French invasion in Mexico led to the independence that trickled down to Guatemala, Costa Rica. So that's pretty interesting information. The more you know, education is important. So the first printing press came from the United States in 1830. And now we get into the coffee. Fun fact, John F. Kennedy was here in 1963, and if you look at that statue right there, this is the front of the theater, where the National Theater Museum is now. So JFK was there. So a little bit of the history, key moments, all the way to 2020. Yep, Costa Rica even elected their first woman president in 2010. Even they could do it. So that was the National History Museum. If you're ever here in San Jose, Costa Rica, I definitely recommend you checking it out. It's pretty educational. All right, time to eat. New York! They did that just for us. First thing I thought of, Fast and Furious 1.
Alright, so I hope you enjoyed some of the museums that we took around in San Jose, especially the restaurant we were just at. That was interesting. Probably one of the only restaurants that were open at that time. But,
a lot of things are closed.
Yeah. Hopefully you enjoyed. Tomorrow we do head back to Tamarindo, but we do have a special surprise on the way back, so hopefully you stay tuned.
And hopefully it doesn't downpour and we get to go to it. So see you tomorrow. Thank you for watching and
like and subscribe.